Oh wow, Mr. Noah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you?
No, that's a photograph of me. I'm me here.
That's you?
Okay, that's a photograph of me.
You're so young.
What
Like
is
it was
she trying
just
to say?
yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. That's my peers. And eventually, notice the number of black eyes. I always thought that was funny. Years later,
Did
the
you-
first time.
Yeah, did you, were people mean to you?
No.
They weren't?
No.
Were they ever mean to you when you got back?
Not noticeably.
Oh, okay.
But I went back to Camp Pendleton. I lived on the base.
Okay.
At the airport one time, one little maiden in her granny suit with her granny glasses and her hippie outfit and her flowers. We were in a den of iniquity in the airport, several of us, in uniform. And she came up and wanted to know how we could kill babies like that. And there's an old joke about that, which you've probably heard. How do you
I
shoot
don't know.
women and children? You don't lead it as much. Our machine gunner said that. All the businessmen on the other side, they started laughing. She didn't understand what it really, she had no idea what we were talking about, so she finally stalked off. Because I think they put it in that movie Full Metal Jacket.
Oh.
Yeah, it was in there. David Jordan from Watsonville, California. Jordan had the next one to mine. It turned out he was 17. In theory, you couldn't go to Vietnam unless you were 18.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keeping in mind that while I was there, we had a 15-year-old killed. But Jordan was 17, so he gets up one day and he's just exceptionally cheerful. I said, Jordan, why are you so happy? And he said, I'm 18. I'm here legally. And we said, oh, cool. And so then that afternoon came mail call. And he got his official Dear John letter from his girlfriend. He'd asked his cousin to take care of her while he was gone. Well, his cousin did. And they were getting married, and she wanted to tell David.
That's
So she wrote him.
horrible.
Yes.
She's
I know.
mean.
Yes, it was quite popular. I got one
You did?
from my true love.
Did you cry?
No,
I bet you cried.
I bet I didn't. I was on a troop ship. It's like 15 high. Believe me, you do not want to be crying. Not in a Marine troop ship. But, so he was sad. He had the night shift. So off he goes to the runway, and they're set up alongside the runway. And his sergeant, and I forget which one it was, I think, I'm not 100% certain, but I think it was Schmidt, this guy here. Staff Sergeant Schmidt. He said, look, Jordan, why don't you go in and catch a few Z's? They had a little tent with a metal table on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan goes and lays down on the little table, looking powerful, sad, and apparently went to sleep. Well, we got a rocket attack. So a rocket landed in one of the berms, which are those big rubber things.
Ooh.
And another one landed, probably went through the tent where Jordan was, and went kabang, and blew off his left arm. It messed up the table collapsed, he landed on his left stump with the table on top, then the tent collapsed, then all the burning kerosene splashed over on top.
Oh, my
So he's
God.
under the table, under the tent, under the kerosene, burning away, right? So he was complaining, and I think it was this guy, but I'm not 100% sure, one of his sergeants, ran into the fire, pulled out his K-bar, which is a big Bowie knife that they issue here, cut through the canvas tent, flung the table off, grabbed Jordan, pulled him out of the fire, took his belt off, put a tourniquet on the stub, and there was a helicopter there getting refueled. And they flung him on the helicopter and it went over to Charlie Med. And they did whatever it is they do. And then we called up later on when the sun came up, our admin people. Where's Lance Corporal Jordan? Oh, he's in a plane flying to the States. Because if you got wounded, they normally sent you to a hospital nearest your family, wherever that might be. I had a buddy who went to Okinawa because his wife was there.
Mhm.
So he went to, I think it's Letterman in San Francisco.
Mhm.
So he had gotten in the course of one evening, or actually 2 days, the evening of his birthday and the next morning, he had gotten his birthday, his Dear John letter, and his left arm blown off, and he was left-handed. And he wanted to be a mechanical draftsman.
Oh.
So. And
That's
I,
so
I had to get a new
awful.
You had to get a new
That's
one.
No,
sad.
that was fine.
No, that's sad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
No.
Okay. So, anyway, we all chipped in and got a little card saying, you know, some people do anything to get out of Vietnam, really. And sent it to him, so
Oh.
I don't know whatever became of him. And then, let's see, pictures of the airfield. And as you can see, we had a highly efficient telephone system.
Spiffy.
Yeah, it got better later. Oh, there he is. You remember him? I told you the story about the guy who had his nose shot
Oh,
off.
yeah.
That's him.
Ugh.
He got a tin nose, and so he didn't like his tin nose that the government issued him, so he went downtown in San Diego and had a plastic one made, or
Wow.
rubber, or whatever it was. Well, in Vietnam, it was so hot and humid, he would glue it on in the mornings, and by lunchtime, it would come loose. And you can actually see when they took the picture, it's starting to curl up.
Yeah, so you can see at the top.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he would get mad and yell at people, and bang on his desk, and his nose would fall off, and he'd spray all over everybody. It's quite impressive. You try not to get him mad.
Isn't it something?
It was
Yes.
interesting to us when we were there because from the end of the Second World War through the time that we were there, the Germans immediately in West Berlin started, with our help, rebuilding the city. And during the time that we were there, they hit the 20-year mark from the declared end of the Second World War. And it was 20 years that they had given any of the owners of any of the real estate in Berlin an opportunity to come back if they had left and claim their property or their building or their business or whatever it might have been. On that day, workers appeared all over the city of Berlin, patching up holes in property that had been damaged during the war and repaving streets, rebuilding buildings, getting rid of the rubble.
Wow.
And in no time, brought the city back to very much what its original grandeur had been.
Mm-hmm.
Looking across the wall at East Berlin, by comparison, it was daylight and dark.
It was almost like Technicolor and black and white.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was remembering.
And
too.
if there could have ever been, an advertisement for freedom versus what was being represented by the Soviet bloc at the time, that would have been a good advertisement for freedom.
Wow. You guys had a good life.
We had
Yeah.
a very blessed life.
Absolutely beautiful. And I would go back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'd go through it all again.
We've been very fortunate.
Yeah. That's
Well,
awesome.
we probably bored you. with all
No,
the way
definitely
we
not.
watched it.